I never said that, did I? Oh, keep it up. Keep it up. All right, we're going to go ahead and get going. Please remember to silence your cell phones and give your name and affiliation before asking any questions. Patty Gasso will start by giving a statement. Then Oklahoma athletes, Jada Coleman and Jordy Ball, will just answer questions. Then we'll dismiss them, and then questions will go to Patty. So I think Ryan was going to start us off front row. Or no, sorry, Patty. You're going to give a statement,
It's
then Ryan
okay.
will start us off.
I'll sit back here and let everybody.
Too much going on.
Too much. Proud of this team. We knew what we were running into in the way of Nyjah, and she has become one of the hardest throwing, ball-moving freshmen I've ever seen. So she was just a boss today. It was really fun to watch that, especially, not getting the opportunity she wanted last year and just making the most of it from day one. And just Jada and Boone and these guys just really starting to put a few things together was really, really important. But that was probably one of the most stressful, struggling first games we've had that I can remember in a long time.
Okay, now we'll go to player questions with Ryan front row.
Ryan Aber from the Oklahoman. Jada, you hear Patty talk about fouling a ton of pitches off. That first at bat of the game, you and TRA really work. I think 21 pitches over the 2 at bats. How much did you feel like that had to do with maybe setting yourself up? I know it took a while, but that 5th inning and finally seeming to wear her down a little bit.
Yeah, I think those really long at-bats, even though we weren't scoring, I think our team was still very motivated. We knew that we were having good at-bats and that we were seeing the balls. We like to celebrate the little things. So watching people go to a 13-pitch at-bat and end up just poking it through, like that is stuff that we like to get excited about. And it ends up coming good for us later in the game. So I'm just glad we kept fighting and just keep grinding.
All right, we'll go to Ryan, second row left.
Brian Chapman, All Sooners. Jordy, it felt like the couple of times Stanford got 2 runners aboard, you fired back even stronger immediately. Just what does that say about your continued ability to dig deep and almost make the best out of those potentially stressful situations?
Those are honestly the situations you kind of like to be in as a pitcher at times, because when teams press you like that, it makes you be your best and you can't take a pitch off, and it's a good test. And so those moments are kind of fun, even though they're really high stress at times. But yeah, just can't take a pitch off.
Right, front row right.
Nick Coppola, OU Daily. I got a question for Jordan here. Really good out from you. You got 10 strikeouts up today. Just when you're going back in the dugout, and you had those conversations with maybe Hatter, even Jen Rocha. What were those like during the course of the game? And what's just been your relationship been like with Rocha just throughout your time here?
She is so smart about the game. And so a lot of the times when we go in there in between innings, we're just talking about maybe what it felt like, what we felt from the hitters, and then just going off that to plan for the next time we're going to see them.
We'll go front row left, Eric.
Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World. Jada, we talk a lot about support staff and people behind the scenes. I wanted to ask you, when you have someone like KJ, student manager, who can throw it like he can and bring it like he can, how much does that help prepare when you see a power pitcher like you saw today?
I mean, it is important. Our support staff they're amazing people. But to have someone like KJ to throw pitches to us, that just helps us more in the game.
Second row, Jenny on the right.
Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Jordy, Coach mentioned a year ago today, you're here, but you're not going to throw. What was it like today for you, knowing that the opener, the ball's in your hands, and what were the emotions like? And having that experience though towards the latter end of the series last year, how did that come into play today for you?
Going into today, I think if I learned anything from my injury, it was you just really can't take anything for granted. And so just trying to be as present as possible was huge. And at the same time, trying to just treat it like another big game you're getting ready for. So.
Right, next, Eli, second row on the right.
Eli Letterman, Tulsa World. JD, you guys talk about the long at-bats and eventually you break through in the 5th. But what were you able to pick up on in the way that Nyjah attacked you guys and operated through the lineup?
Yeah, I think she really she wanted to throw 75, which I think she was throwing 75 miles an hour. But she was really starting ahead. She was getting strikes, but I think we realized that we needed to take those pitches up in the zone. And for some reason, we felt like we needed to swing at them. But we got a little bit more discipline as the innings went on and just kind of letting those go and just really focusing on the strikes that were lower in the zone.
Right, front row on the right, Bob.
Yeah. Bob Prisbillo with Sooner Scoop. Jada, this isn't the first time that Riley Boone has been able to come through in the late innings of a really tight game. Can you just speak to her ability to rise up to these type of moments?
Every time Boone happy, just put the ball in play, hit low line drives. I think sometimes people want us just to jack home runs when that just doesn't win it all the time. So just really getting down to the fundamentals and the foundation and just hitting low line drives and just taking the walks and just being scrappy.
Right, that'll be all our player questions for Jada and Jordy. Thank you. We've got questions to Patty now. I think Eric.
Hi,
Bye.
Eric, front row left.
Patty, we talk about Jordy's pitching. Fourth and fifth innings, he has runners at first and second, 2 outs, 3-2 pitches, so the runners are moving in a scoreless game. Just talk about in that situation, one pitch could, a hit's going to score a run. How does she handle that situation? How impressed are you with what she's able to do?
Wow, she said it herself. She lives for those moments, and it's not a lie. It's real. She loves the pressure, and that's where she thrives the most. So she's the right person at the right time.
I got a front row on the right here, Ryan.
Yeah, Patty, I want to ask you sort of along the same lines of what I asked Jada. The way that those first 2 at-bats wind up, obviously didn't pay off right then, but come back at the end. How important was that to sort of set the tone and for Jada especially to see a lot of pitches there and get an idea of what she was throwing?
I mean, once we scored? Or
yeah, I mean, just sort of setting up what happened later in the game with the first 2 at-bats of the game with 21 pitches.
Yeah. I was really proud of those guys because we haven't really seen this before, and they were really fighting, and they knew. I think it just bled over to everybody. And there's somebody that I need to it was her first World Series, and she's been waiting her lifetime for this, and she had 2 really good at-bats and one that helped us score, and that's Alina Torres. And I think she was listening and taking messages. These guys were bringing it into the dugout, and they were talking about how our posture should
Go to Jerry, second row left.
Jerry Ramsey, the franchise. This seems like it'd be the perfect situation if there's any overconfidence at all coming in. You got Stanford's pitcher going the way they did. In a way, aren't you kind of happy that they kind of faced this right off the bat in game 1?
Yes, but I will tell you there's absolutely no overconfidence because this field of teams is loaded, and everybody who knows softball knows that. So when I saw our matchup, I'm like, oh, okay, oh no, let's go. Let's get the machine, crank it up, let's grease it up, make sure it's working. They can throw that hard. But yes, I do think a battle early, and I think we may have had one of the toughest matchups of the beginning of this World Series. It is going to pay dividends because of the fight they had all day.
Okay, go front row to the right with Jesse.
Jesse Grinnan, OU Insider. Patty, kind of along those lines, you've talked a lot about wanting the team to face adversity. You go through Clemson, your last game, this one today, kind of 2 different situations, but you have to battle to find a way to win. Have you learned anything about the way this team's responded, or maybe just the way they've been able to respond?
Nothing they do surprises me at all. I mean, they're always ready. They're always talking. They're wanting to win. They're wanting to be great. They love doing it together. So nothing surprises me by this team.
Okay, we're going to have time for one more right here. Front.
Tarek Monster with the Norman Transcript. Just seeing Avery Hodge go out there and look confident and have a big swing there at the end of the game, how big was that, and how rewarding is that knowing you've been putting her in those situations throughout the year?
Yeah, well, I brought her in to run for Alina. And that kind of leads her out to defense because she's just very quick and she's got a very strong arm, normally a shortstop. it was pick, what are we going to do here? We're going to let her swing and have her stay on defense, or this big moment who have not been in it. So very pleased with the entire team and their approach today. Thank you, guys.
Sorry for cutting. New to this.